Dear students, let us have the explanation of the stranger. Stranger number 1. Let us read out the stranger. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek chivalric certainty. They pace in sleek chivalric certainty. There is alliteration. Dear students, let us have line by line explanation of this stanza. First line, the poet is talking about a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. Second, she is embroidering a piece of cloth. It could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. Third one, the pattern shows tigers who are moving and jumping around all over the fabric. And next line, they are bright yellow in color, like the color of the topaz stone. Here, use of metaphor. Dear students, next line, the dense green forest background is their home. They are the proud and fearless citizens of the forest. Here they refer to tigers. And next is, here is a contrast between Aunt Jennifer and her tigers. The tigers are fearless, but this lady who is embroidering them is not so. So that's why both are contrasting. The tigers look elegant, shining, and full of the gentleman's grace. The detailed explanation is, the poet is describing a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. She says that Aunt Jennifer is doing embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. She has designed it with beautiful tigers which are running fearlessly in the green forest. She has described their beauty by comparing them with a precious yellow stone known as topaz. She says that they appear bright yellow in the green backdrop of the forest. They are fearless and they are not affected by the presence of men. Here we can sense the contrast of behavior between the tigers and Aunt, though the tigers designed by her are fearless, but she is herself is afraid of her husband. Further, the poet says that the tigers are proud and fearless citizens of the forest. They are very shiny and elegant. The literary devices have been used over here by the poet. Number one, rhyme scheme, AABB. Second, anaphora. The poet has used here. Anaphora is use of same word in two consecutive lines. They do not and they pace in. Third is metaphor, use of topaz to describe the yellow color of tigers. Here, bright topaz. That's why metaphor is here. Dear students, let us have stanza number 2. Let us read it out. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. Fingers fluttering. Here FF, the sound has been repeated. Consonant sound. So that's why alliteration is here. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Line by line explanation is, the lady's fingers are trembling with the fear of her husband. She is pursuing her hobby in her free time, but probably she is still afraid of her husband who could scold her. Her fingers are so tired of working endlessly all her life. The needle is also heavy for her to pull out of the cloth. Dear students, the words uncle's wedding band, as the band was bought by her husband, it is his till today. The lady is dependent on her husband. And further, we have got to know she is still burdened by the weight of the ring. Weight means here the encirclement of trapping that has fallen upon her by getting married to him. She has been burdened by the obligations of married life, has become the man's property. She has been living a demanding life due to which she has worn out in her old age. Let us have the detailed explanation of the above stanza. Here the poet describes the fear of Aunt Jennifer towards her husband. She says that while she is doing embroidery, her fingers are quivering, means shaking with fear of her husband. Her husband doesn't approve of her hobby of embroidery, therefore, she trembles while she is embroidering the piece of cloth. It has become difficult for her to pull her needle up and down. Then she describes the wedding ring which was given by uncle to Aunt Jennifer on their wedding day. She says that it is a kind of burden for her to wear this ring. She has been tortured by her husband so much that the wedding ring, which could have been a beautiful gift for her, seems like a burden to her. She has faced so many difficulties in her married life that the little ring is described as a heavy band on her trembling fingers. This means that the ring is associated with some bad experiences in the form of torture she has faced because of her husband's dominating behavior. Dear students, some literary devices have been used by the poet. First of all, rhyme scheme AABB, and next is alliteration. F sound is repeated in finger fluttering. Dear students, let us have the third stanza. Let us read it out. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. She, ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Prancing, proud here, alliteration because P sound has been repeated. Let us have line by line explanation of the above stanza. Her wish to live a free, fearless life is indicated by her choice of design tigers. It shows her innermost desire of being strong, fearless, which has been overpowered by her husband. Probably her ordeal, means difficulty of married life, will end upon her death. Her frightened, shaking fingers will be put to rest. But still, even after death, the ring shall remain on her hand. That is her husband's rule over her is not yet over. After death, her desire of freedom and fearlessness shall remain alive in these tigers which she has embroidered. Dear students, let us have the detailed explanation of the above stanza. The poet says that one can easily sense Aunt's desire for freedom and fearlessness through her design of tigers. Further, she says that it is not possible for Aunt to achieve this freedom during her lifetime. She will attain it only after her death. But here, also the irony of her life is that still she will be tied up with shackles in the form of her husband's wedding ring. Here, shackles means the chains. The ring was the sole proof of the tortures which she had faced from her husband. On the other hand, there are the tigers designed by Aunt Jennifer, which will always depict her desire of living a fearless life by jumping proudly and bravely on the piece of cloth. Dear students, some literary devices have been used over here. First, rhyme scheme, the same rhyme scheme, AABB. Next is alliteration, P. Sound is repeated in prancing proud. Dear students, some of the new words have been used by the poet in this poem. Prance. Prance means here walk or move around with high springy steps. Next is topaz. Topaz means a bright yellow colored stone. Next is denizens. Here an animal that lives or is found in a particular place. Sleek means here elegant. Chivalric means being courteous, especially to women, an act of a gentleman. Ordeals means extremely severe tests or experiences. Prancing means to move around proudly. Fluttering here means to move in quick, irregular motions as if being agitated. So, dear students, thank you and have a nice day.